Hi guys, it's the Vibe Queen, and yes guys, you're tuning to the Vibe Zone on Voice Tone. Now guys, today say on the Vibe Zone, we're always, it's from vibes to vibes. But you see this particular episode, I'm dedicating it to the late MOHBAD.
Waiting be this one like this. Been through many things, many gist. Oh, I still find my peace smaller. Oh, but they do like say me, I know they see. Like say I know the year. Which kind person be this? Oh, waiting be this one like this. Been through many things.
Now guys, so I'm not going to be talking about MOHBAD alone. I'm going to be talking about, some artists that had issues, with a record label, before establishing their own label. Now guys, you see the issue of MOHBAD has brought about a lot of past issues, like a lot of issues have, resurfaced again. And I think interestingly for me was the discussion between ID Kabasa and, an Arise TV presenter where he was talking about the reasons why these issues happen in record labels. And, ID Kabasa was talking about the situation where people are desperate, to get on a label and they forget to read through a contract or understand what is involved in being on a record label. Despite, just people just telling them, oh yeah, sign. According to him, he even said that some people do not even bother to read through with a lawyer. They just sign because they are happy that a celebrity wants to sign them onto a label. And he said, you do not have to be desperate. You need a lawyer to read through, your contracts before you understand or even sign. Now, I'm going to be talking about some people, some artists, popular artists that also had issues with record labels before they established their own. Now, the first person I'm going to be talking about is Kiss Daniel. Remember that Kiss Daniel also had an issue with percentage and all when he was with GOY before he moved on to establish his own record label. Well, we are glad that Kiss Daniel is even doing well for himself now. Now, another person I'm going to be talking about is Mr. Mehdi. Remember that Mr. Mehdi was sacked. In his own case, he was actually sacked. He was working, he was signed on to the label owned by the Okoyes, P Square and their brother. And later on, he said he has been sacked. And at a particular point, he came out to say that he's not happy because he has been sacked. Despite the fact that he wrote these people some songs, which these songs are even winning some awards, that how come they are benefiting from his own songs? Meanwhile, they just dumped him without even realizing what is going to be going through. The same label owned by P Square and their brothers, they signed Cynthia Morgan. And Cynthia Morgan, if you know Cynthia Morgan well, you know that Cynthia Morgan has actually been saying stuff online. It's been a while, she went down for a while again. She didn't say anything and she resurfaced online saying stuff about how she was maltreated while she was under the label and how she didn't benefit anything, how she was misused. You see, the whole situation has been getting people to talk about the fact that, okay, is it that because we know some people that left some record labels and they're still like cool with the record label. And some of these people started tweeting stuff like, okay, we need to now ask people like Peruzzi and Mayokun, what did Davido do to them for them to leave the record label? Because these people are still cool. They still hang out together. And we're wondering, like, why is this happening while it's not happening for some people? And I know Peruzzi, for instance, threw a joke saying that, well, the only reason he doesn't like Davido is the fact that Davido always takes his charger head or something. Now, guys, you see, let's now get to the deep points. Now, the issue of MOHBAD. Honestly, I feel like this particular issue affected a lot of people's mental health. Nobody, like some of these people do not even know MOHBAD, but it just shed more light on the fact that like people are going through a lot, especially for the fact that this guy was crying out, was saying a lot of stuff. And before I even talk about MOHBAD, there's this YBNL princess that was signed onto YBNL Nation. She's been talking. This lady is actually very popular. She's been talking, but I know people dismiss her talk a lot because of her sexuality. And she actually tweeted something recently saying that while she was signed onto the label, that she didn't even ask anybody to kuku sign her, that they brought her all the way from Ilorin, they signed her, and they discarded her at a point, making her drop from being a famous person to not having anything. And she even talked about the fact that Fuse produced about 25 tracks for her, and when she asked for the songs, Fuse said he lost the hard drive containing the songs. And she was saying, okay, if you people always trash my own thoughts or whatever I say outside, saying that, well, it's because I am gay and all, what of Devoli? What of these other people? And see, I started thinking about a lot of things, and so many people have been tweeting about the fact that we just admire these our celebrities. We just make these artists our own role model. We do not really know what they do to these people. But what I've noticed about all of these people that have complained about or that dropped a record label or were dumped by a record label, what I have noticed is most of them complained about the percentage they were getting. Now, I remember a particular person saying while he was signed onto a label, he was only getting 20% of the earnings, while the record label, they were getting 80%. And he was saying, what should he use 20% for? Because he is the famous person. And how is that supposed to buy him a lifestyle? So he was frustrated. And it is even still good when you complain, these people discard you, leaving you to start from the bottom, and that can actually lead to depression. Now let's talk about MOHBAD himself. I feel like MOHBAD's situation is really, 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 really sad. And the fact that he's actually been saying a lot of stuff before this whole situation happened. And I feel like when he died and I got to listen to some of his songs, I got to even understand that this guy has been saying, he has been sharing his experiences, like everything he's been going through. He's been sharing it not only on social media platforms, but via his lyrics. Like his lyrics are so deep. And so many people have been calling out Naira Marley. Now, I, for one, I remember the particular time, well, when MOHBAD actually left, when he had this clash with the Malian record label. And, I remember that they were saying something about the fact that he was just a junkie, he was high on drugs, and he didn't know what he was saying. And this guy kept saying he knows what he is saying. If anything should happen to him, I just saw a lot of terrible videos that made me just sad, because it felt like this guy was putting this thing in our faces, but we didn't know how sad or how bad he was. And I know that a Nollywood actress, for instance, she goes by the name Bukumi Oluwashino, she wrote something that was really deep, saying it's really sad that these people talk and the people they can run to are part of these people they are reporting them to. Now, that's deep. It feels like, okay, you're being punished by an higher authority and you want to now report to some people, but those people are friends to this higher authority. So how do you even go from there? And I read that caption and it just made me sad. And guess what, guys? This is the conclusion I've come up with. I feel like if you want to blow, see, just take your time. I think I've always been of the opinion that you need to take it slow. Like, see, akololo akpada pe baba. See, person wey get, you go still reach there. Just take your time, because when you're desperate, just like ID Kabasa said, like everything they bring to your table, you're going to accept. You're not even going to be considering the greater level. And I remember somebody also said, it's better not to be up there before and then you're just striving. It's better to maintain your life. But it's harder when you've attained that fame and you now drop and you are dumped by these people that were pushing you before, and you have to start all over again. So it's sad. So my advice on this particular episode to people who are striving to be musicians, who are striving to blow, whether as a musician, whether as, a skit maker, an actress, like, take it a step at a time. Don't be so desperate that you accept everything that is thrown at you. I remember somebody also tweeted with a caption saying that sometimes some gifts, some rewards, some crown that are placed on your head, some awards are actually traps in disguise, and I accept. Anyway, guys, rest in peace to MOHBAD. That's a very sad situation there. And I feel that this should, encourage other people to reach out to these other guys that are in similar situations and have been clamoring for help. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this particular episode of The Vibe Zone. I hope you had fun. I hope you learnt one or two. Please like, drop comments, download the VoiceTome app if you're yet to download the VoiceTome app, and follow us across our social media platforms at VoiceTome. Follow me on Instagram at Omobolanle Adigun. _, and on other platforms is _Val. Thank you guys. Stay safe. I love you. Goodbye.